Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a Porsche Cayenne S. So this is a 2.9 V6 twin turbo. Pretty much the same engine as the RS4s and the RS5s in the B9 generation. There's a couple differences, but generally it's pretty much similar. And because it's similar, we of course have the same rocker arm issue on this engine. Well, that's what I believe it will be from the noise it's making. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So, welcome back to the channel. Today we have something a little bit special, as you probably already know. We have a Porsche Cayenne S on the ramp, and of course we're going to be taking the engine out, and as I mentioned earlier, this is the same engine as you would find in the RS4s and the RS5s of the B9 platform. And yes, because it is the same engine, it shares the same common problem with the failing rocker arms. So the plan is to remove the engine, which, as you can see, I've already done. So now I can begin removing absolutely everything off the top of the engine to be able to get down to those infamous rocker arms and find out what kind of damage has been caused. And lucky for you, I recorded absolutely everything on my POV camera, so you'll be able to see the whole process of what it takes to get down to the rocker arms. Looks good. How does it look?
Looks good.
Yeah?
Still there. It's a stock car, man. I don't think there'll be an issue with it as such.
That looks pretty good. Porsche. Do-do-do. No coolant. Ow! So, wiring is off, coil packs next. Not oil. $10mm. With a 17mm spanner. Need a 19 spanner. We have to take this off to be able to get this T30 off. Dum-dum-dum. Oh. Amazing. Got fuel everywhere. Cringes me a bit, but CT3506. So when I was in the process of removing the engine and I took off the bottom intercooler hose for the Bang 2 side turbo, there was quite a lot of oil that came out of there, and I suspected that the PCV valve had failed. So I just wanted to take it apart and just confirm that that is the problem. Springy. There it is. The rubber is coming off. Yeah. Nothing broken. Let's turn it into TDC with a 27mm. Oh, yes. That is so much better. Don't look too bad. The moment of truth. Ta-da! This one. I'm looking at intake for some reason. Seized. So this is the majority of the parts that we're going to be using. So we have a new camshaft. Where's the part number? That's the part number. We've got two upper timing chain guides, two intake manifold gaskets. We've got the two gaskets for both of the camshaft carriers, vacuum pump gasket, part number there. We've got manifold gaskets as well, part number there. We have two tensioners for both sides. We have a new PCV gasket. Here we have the four new spool valves, bolts for the camshaft adjusters. Here are the new rocker arms with the bigger needle bearings. That's the part number. We've got 24 of them. And lastly we have a oil filter. So that's pretty much all that we need. The only thing we need to order from TPS is a new PCV valve, because I don't think we have any in stock. So there is, I think it's pretty safe to say that we found the cause of the tapping noise. So because this engine is co-designed by Audi and Porsche, and they worked together on this engine, I am curious which party actually signed off on this particular rocker arm design. But let's be honest, it was probably Audi. They wanted to make a couple extra pounds selling rocker arms so that they can afford to put their lovely logo onto a F1 team. But anyway, I'm working on being able to remove the intake manifolds, so I'm lifting the engine up off the subframe a little bit, and this is what the valves look like after 73,000 miles. I'd definitely say that it's a good point to get them walnut blasted, and if anyone is curious, this is actually a part of the rocker arm service that we do. So we remove the engine, we replace the rocker arms, and free of charge we also clean the intake valves. And if anyone is looking into getting their intake valves walnut blasted, I'd definitely say look into getting a catch can as well, because this is a direct injection engine. The valves will get dirty again at some point, and if you have a catch can, then in theory it should catch most of the oil vapors and keep the valves cleaner for longer. Now I can start assembling the camshaft carrier one more time with the new camshaft, and you need to take these oil control rings off the old one, put it onto the new one, and there's also a gasket that goes right here, and these two gaskets are slightly different for bank 1 and bank 2. I'll also be using some assembly lube. So the camshaft is in. Make sure they spin freely. They do. I've also put the new seal into this carrier. Now I just need to unpackage all of these rocker arms. We can get them back into the engine. Let's do it. So nice. Nice. Take me away, so far away. Take me away. Okay. Rock arms are there. All of them are in place. We've also got the camshafts in the correct orientation. Okay. Okay, cool. There you go. Come on. Now we can put it back together. There you go. Just like that. Now we have to align the adjusters in between those 2 points, those 2 points, those 2, and those 2 there. This flashlight on this phone is terrible. Rear timing covers are back on, timing is okay. Now all I've got to do is put everything back on. We've got a new PCV valve as well, and yeah, so I'll put it on time lapse and check back in when we're putting it back into the car, I guess. So I've got pretty much everything put back on, especially this massive air filter. All the suspension is back on, you can't really see, but it's there. I've topped up the coolant. I think the only thing left to do is to start it up for the first time. I like this about Porsches because you can see even the oil pressure. It's pretty cool. Sounds alright. So the SQ5. So the Porsche Cayenne S is back on the road. There's no more tapping coming from the engine, but to be expected. The rocker arm was seized and was tapping against the camshaft, and that's what was causing the noise. So yeah, this is the same EA 839 engine as you've got in the RS5s, the RS4s, S4s, S5s, SQ5s. It's all very, very, very similar. Main difference between this engine and compared to like an RS4 or RS5 is probably the way the intake is done, because on the RS5s it's a air to water intercooler, so the boosted air is getting cooled with coolant through a heat exchanger, whereas this is just a normal air to air intercooler, and there's two intercoolers on each side for both of the turbos. But that's probably the only drastic difference. And as of recently, I saw on Facebook, I think I was scrolling on my lunch break, and I saw that Audi is being sued for their fantastic, amazing water pump design on these engines, where because the water pump is controlled by vacuum, to be able to open and close a sleeve to allow the engine to warm up faster, but once there's like a little diaphragm or something in there, and once that goes bad, then the coolant starts getting sucked in through the vacuum line, and then the coolant will eventually migrate throughout the whole cooling system, potentially into the wiring loom. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, because we do work on these cars every day, and I guess we'll see what comes of that. But back to the Porsche. So for a rocker arm job, I believe we charge just shy of £4,000, and yeah, we remove the engine, we clean the intake valves. As you saw, this only being on 73,000 miles. I say only, that I don't know, I'll probably say that this is like an average mileage, especially for this kind of age of a vehicle. But the valves definitely do need cleaning. I've been seeing quite a lot of comments in my videos regarding these cars. People are asking if you can clean the intake valves with the engine still in the car, and the simple answer is no. There is no way, unless you have some magical chemical that you can spray into the intake, but I don't believe a chemical will magically get rid of all the carbon that's built up on the valves. Only way to clean the valves on this particular engine, and that goes for all of the cars with this engine, is you simply need to remove the engine, because there's no way of removing the intake manifolds, because the chassis is literally right up against them. And maybe you would be able to if you took the subframe off, but then what kind of tool are you going to get in there to be able to blast the intake valves? So there's no point even thinking about it. That's pretty much why we removed the engine to replace the rocker arms, because we do that as part of the service. So yeah, so you can call it, this was kind of a emergency repair, because we only replaced what's necessary to be able to drive the car again. And the owner did mention that he doesn't feel like putting any more money into it, because he will be trading the car in the near future. So, which to be fair is probably the best thing to do. Fix what's necessary and get rid of it if you want something else. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of this video. I appreciate all the support in all of the videos. I enjoyed reading all of your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.